Billions of people are living in ignorance, whilst right before their very eyes, they watch the physical world being manipulated into violence, war, and chaos. Many rulers of the world are members of secret societies who summon demons and devils from the lower planes of the spirit world. The rituals of cults such as the Golden Dawn, World International Freemasonry, and the Knights Templar all originated with the teachings of the Kabbalah. Mystics throughout history, especially in the Holy Lands, have tried to describe the mystifying, strange, and complex world of the astral planes. The Kabbalah is a collection of texts which are forbidden to be studied before the age of 40. Kabbalistic texts describe the spirit world as the Yen Welt. The Kabbalah teaches that there are different, invisible, parallel universes which intersect our own reality. Indeed, it is the astral world where the two strange worlds of human spirituality and the spirits of extraterrestrials meet. The sheer vast complexity of the spirit world is the same as the immense hugeness of the physical universe. The world of modern physics is dominated by Jewish theorists. Modern physics often put forward theories which have come straight from the pages of the Kabbalah. According to the mystical author Helena Blavatsky, the fabled kingdom of Atlantis was destroyed by groups of magicians who summoned demonic forces, eventually destroying a prehistoric civilization which, some people believe, had crystal, plasma, electrical, and psychic technologies that eventually were used by the pharaohs of Egypt to build awe-inspiring buildings using giant granite blocks which even today's largest cranes would not be able to lift. According to Helena Blavatsky, the technologies used in Egypt were powered by energy drawn directly from the cosmos and the spirit world. We live in a democratic dictatorship. It is a dictatorship run by people who perform rituals. It is a dictatorship run by people who privately summon demons. That sounds difficult to believe, but it is the truth. Cuneiform tablets and cylinder seals made in ancient Iraq, the former kingdom of Babylon, tell the story of two extraterrestrial star gods coming to Earth and genetically manipulating mankind. These alien star gods were called Enlil and Enki. Their alien race was called the Anunnaki, which roughly translated means princes of the royal genetic seed. Of these alien beings takes many forms, and the royal political elite have built special temples and lodges all all over planet Earth, where ceremonies are performed to invoke the spirit of the Anunnaki and other extraterrestrials. Exposes some of the highest secrets of the Kabbalah, Freemasonry, the Knights Templar, and the global network of secret societies loosely described as the Illuminati. These cults have perverted ancient rituals and now summon not just gods or angels, nor even just spirits of their ancestors, but these cults are summoning demons, and some believe they are even summoning the devil himself. The highest secret of the Hebrew Kabbalah, Aleister Crowley's Ordo Templi Orientis, and L. Ron Hubbard's Scientology cults is that magical ritual can be used to contact not only angels and demons, but also the spirits of extraterrestrials who inhabit other parts of the universe. By understanding the spirit world, we can understand the goal of magical ritual performed by the global network of secret societies, witch covens, Freemasons, and Kabbalists. This world is every bit as real as the physical world which we inhabit. Magical ceremonies work like computer programs, repeating the names of spirits in particular orders, just like a computer language is actually a list of commands. These ancient rituals unlock the subconscious mind and open telepathic gateways to the spirit world. In 1943, Robert Oppenheimer's team calculated the forces which would be unleashed from splitting a single atom. They became concerned that a global chain reaction would take place, igniting all the hydrogen and gases in the Earth's atmosphere, and thus incinerating the entire planet. Nevertheless, funded by politicians and military officers who are traditionally members of Kabbalistically inspired secret societies, Robert Oppenheimer and his team of mostly Jewish physicists went ahead and exploded the first atomic bomb, which ripped apart the finer atomic forces of nature for the first time, creating a catastrophic shockwave, not just in the physical world, but also in the spirit world. The so-called Cold War created a worldwide psychological war of terror in the minds of every man, woman, and child, threatening to completely annihilate every living creature and even the planet itself in an orgy of atomic destruction. Throughout history, Freemasons, Knights Templars, Satanists, Magi, wizards, shamans, voodoo doctors, Kabbalists, monks, and even popes have engaged in magical ritual in order to contact the spirits of dead people, demons, and forces of nature which reside on the astral planes. Ancient cultures, such as Judaism, were up to their armpits in blood. Their temples had channels cut into the stones where gallons of blood from animals, men, women, and yes, even children, would flow and congeal amongst the peasants who paid a few pennies in lieu of slicing the throat of a sacrificial victim themselves. Blood rituals have been performed worldwide since the dawn of time, and even to this day is reenacted in symbolic form via the Catholic Mass of eating and drinking the so-called body of Christ. Hot blood, freshly drained from a living creature, which has recently passed through the emotionally animated arteries of the heart, actually contains a concentration of the sacred chi force. According to black magicians such as Aleister Crowley and Eliphas Levi, the last beat of the heart, the last breath of the victim, carry the soul into the spirit world. This form of black magic circumvents the natural path of the victim's soul, which would normally rise into a higher vibratory state and take up residence in the spirit world. Instead, the life force is diverted into the body of the magician or absorbed by a demon. Once the demon has spiritually absorbed the life force of the sacrificial victim, the magician will often ask the spirit to divulge information about the past, present, or future. And one of the most popular forms of divination was performed by examining the shape, color, and texture of the vital organs of freshly sacrificed animals and people. Textbooks were published that were studied by the greatest scholars, which described the prophetic meanings of dreams. It was widely understood that the spirits of one's family and the spirits of the star gods would speak to you using a symbolic visual language in your dreams. The Roman historian known as Josephus described a device known as the ephod, which was made of crystals and gold, and its sole purpose was to contact spirits. The ephod was a breastplate with a matrix of crystals interconnected with gold wires, and each crystal was held in a socket of gold, exactly like an electronic circuit board of today. Josephus describes this technological device as using cunning technology. The Hebrew Levite priesthood used the ephod to attain answers from spirits, which were translated into a cipher language. The colors of the crystals glowed according to ectoplasmic energy infused into the ephod's crystals by spirits. The ephod was fastened at each shoulder with a large stone of onyx. The names of the 12 signs of the zodiac were engraved upon these 2 stones. These shoulder-mounted onyx buttons
were used to show simple yes and no answers from spirits, much the same as the yes and no parts on a Ouija board. When the onyx on the right shoulder was illuminated, it signified that the spirit answered the question in the affirmative, and when the one on the left glowed, it indicated a negative answer to the query. Josephus wrote that the royal political elite of the Hebrew world consulted the spirits via the ephod before making any major decision. The ephod was known in ancient Greece as the breastplate of the oracle. The ephod is a form of occult technology based on crystals, which are used in magical rituals worldwide and are highly prized by the royal elite. The 12 jewels of the breastplate were symbolic of the 12 constellations of the zodiac. Each constellation was considered to have its own ruling alien spirit. These 12 celestial spirits are referred to in the Zohar. This book is part of the corpus of ancient texts, which we now call the Kabbalah. The number 12 frequently refers to a pantheon of extraterrestrial spirits which govern the 12 major constellations. These spirits are covertly represented in the Holy Bible as the 12 prophets, the 12 patriarchs, the 12 tribes of Judah, or the 12 apostles. Rabbis of the Levite priesthood built temples especially for rituals using the ephod. These temples were often referred to as tabernacles and synagogues, and it was here that the so-called Ark of the Covenant were used. The design of the Ark of the Covenant resembles a modern battery and radio transceiver with antennas. Like a modern electronics engineer, priests attached a piece of copper to one ankle to discharge the static electricity emanating from the Ark of the Covenant. In fact, the entire temple was one large electronic device. Even the temple curtains contained 24 separate strands of metal, which aided the spiritual communication apparatus used in the ancient world. On the reverse side of the ephod breastplate were two cube-shaped devices known as the Urim and Thummim. These resembled a dice and vibrated in harmony with the etheric energy received via the teraphim and ephod. The Urim and Thummim were made from magnetized stones, and the vibrations they emitted were used to clarify information received from spirits. The words Urim and Thummim mean lights and accurate truth. The Mormon Church is a modern version of the Levite Hebrew priesthood. Traditionally, the tribe of the Levite priesthood jealously guarded the divine instructions from spirits, which were divined using the ephod, teraphim, Urim, and Thummim. Still, to this day, occult technology is the highest secret of the elite. The ancient crystal technology of the ephod is still in use to this day. The royal political elite wear crowns, which have around their circumference the exact same crystals in the same order as found in the traditional ephod breastplate. Royal crowns are actually ephods which have been fashioned to make direct contact with the skull. On the tomb of Maximilian, Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, a statue can be seen wearing an ephod which has been incorporated into battle armor. This armor was not designed for battle in the physical world, but as protection against spiritual forces in the spirit world. A crown is really an ephod which has been made for the head, able to transmit spiritual communications direct into the brain of the king or queen who wears the crown. Crowns are consecrated in special ceremonies called coronations. The British crowns, owned by the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha royal family of Britain, whose family roots are in Bavaria, Germany, are part of an elaborate wardrobe of magical artifacts, which includes ceremonial knives, golden orbs, and even magic wands, which are known as scepters. When the crown is placed on the head of a British royal, prayers and psalms are sung, which proclaim that the crown gives the wearer divine right to rule. The ceremony is an exact copy of the coronation ritual of King Solomon, who was a pre-Kabbalist magician in ancient Israel, an expert at spirit divination and demon worship.
Come on, you. You feel my little orisons creeping up your spine. Lead us not into temptation. The sweaty murmurs of my rosary beads. The human hearts that I've taken into hell.
The grimoire of the Red Dragon was originally a Hebrew text and is often used by black magicians alongside another Jewish text called the First Grimoire Verum of Lucifer. The first translation of the Verum Grimoire of Lucifer was by a Dominican Jesuit called Plangier. It has been a cherished source of demonic information amongst Jesuits since the time of the Alumbrados sect led by Ignatius Loyola, which inspired, in turn, Adam Weishaupt to form his Illuminati Masonic secret society in Bavaria during the 1700s. The Grimoire Verum includes many prayers directed towards Lucifer, and lists a hierarchy of demons which first appeared in a Kabbalistic text called the Mafteha Shelama, which in turn became known as the Book of Light. One of the most powerful techniques for summoning spirits is the sacred magic of Abra Melin, written by Abraham the Jew during the reign of Emperor Sigismund of Germany in 1377. The magical spells were given to Abraham the Jew by an Egyptian called Abra Melin. It gives instructions on how to consecrate a piece of vellum and write upon it the names of angelic planetary spirits. When these names are called out, spirits swarm into the magician's magic circle. This book has been banned in many countries. due to catastrophic events which took place in England at the turn of the 20th century.
You robber of life. You author of pain. You corrupter of justice and innocence and youth. You begetter of death.
Uriel Seraphim, Zati Zata,
Zati Zata,
Galatim Galata,
Galatim Galata.
The sacred book of Abramelin instructs the magician on how to summon his own personal guardian angel. This guardian angel is then sent into the astral planes to find spirits which have information which the magician requests. A roadmap of the spirit world is explained, which is based on the Kabbalistic tree of life. The book even describes the process of summoning the spirit of Lucifer, the devil himself. Other demons by the names of Astaroth and Beelzebub can also be summoned using this powerful text.
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done.
Magic.
The magical rites of the Templars inspired many future secret societies, many of which sought to harness the power of demons for political and financial gain. The Picatrix inspired further magical texts such as the Testament of Solomon, a sophisticated book of demonology which describes how to summon Beelzebub, who is a demonic prince of hell. According to ancient texts authored by King Solomon, when Beelzebub was questioned as to its demonic purpose, the demonic spirit replied, "I destroy kings. I ally myself with foreign tyrants. I set demons onto men. I inspire men of God to commit wicked sins, evil heresies and lawless deeds. I inspire men to commit murder and declare war upon each other.
I will destroy the world."
After the heresies of the Knights Templar were exposed, the Templars went underground and reformed themselves into World International Freemasonry. One of the secret passwords used in Freemasonry is Beelzebub. By the 1500s, the magical texts of Arabia and the Kabbalah were in the hands of magicians advising the royal court of England.